What's going on, guys? Rewinds here, and this is going to be my Boruto Manga Chapter 64 video that covers the full spoilers of the chapter. So, I'm going to be jumping into this with you guys for the first time as well. I'll talk about how I feel about it as we go, but this is going to be pages 1 through 13, and it's going to consist of the first about 32% of the chapter. So, Shikamaru is the cover page. The subheader for it says, "It's a clash between the powers of their respective karma. Their battle versus code intensifies." Another intro text says, "Having been driven into a corner by Code, who is a formidable foe with excellent control over his own karma, Boruto has activated his own powers too." So scene 1, it's titled Kick, Kick, Punch, Punch, Boof. So based off that, we can assume that it's going to be a pretty action-heavy scene. The chapter opens with Boruto finally being able to stand back up on his own, still surrounded by his fiery aura and activated karma. Code and Kawaki are looking at him from afar. Code says, "Nice, now we're talking." We then have 2 panels of Borushiki's flashback from chapter 54. This says, I guess they might have translated it wrong a little bit, but it probably meant to say, you've probably been freed too, Kawaki. You should smile more. I'll get my hands on that 10 tails that Ishiki has been hiding somewhere, Kawaki. I'll feed you to it, and then enjoy the fruit. Kawaki says, "That damn bastard." He freaking doggedly emerged again. Ada says nothing. Code says, "Uzumaki Boruto. Come to think of it, there's something strange about you. Why has Momoshiki's consciousness surfaced this much despite the fact that you're merely a vessel and he has yet to reincarnate?" Code's making some good points there, I agree. Boruto says, "Get further away, Kawaki. It'll be dangerous here." Kawaki's just speechless. Boruto then rushes straight towards Code. Code says Code readies himself with his claw to defend himself while Boruto weaves a hand sign. Shadow Clone Jutsu. Boruto produces 4 clones, none of which have any karma markings on him. This is an interesting point, that none of them get his karma. I guess this would kind of nerf him down a little bit because it doesn't carry over to his techniques, and that would also make the real one a very visible target. They all just appear as normal-looking Boruto bodies. The original body tries to punch his Code in the face, but he's able to successfully block it with his claw. However, Code's footing is creating rubble underneath him from the force being pushed back from the blow. Code thinks to himself, so that's how strong you are. Now we're already on page 7, and we got Boruto's 3 clones have now joined the fray, throwing more punches one after another. Code is still able to keep up with the blocking of blows by alternating claws, though. Code then swipes through the air with one of his claws and manages to apply a short segment of his black studded belt onto the left shoulder of the real Boruto. Code immediately dives straight into it, taking Boruto by complete surprise. We can see the end of Code's cloak and lower leg/shoes sticking out of Boruto's upper chest. Code subsequently emerges from a different claw mark that was previously set up on a nearby tree branch, to the right side of Boruto and his clones. Meanwhile, Boruto and his clones are still dashing through the air. Code wins back to strike back at them, but he's not aiming at the clones, but rather he's targeting the claw mark that's on the tree. Code's claw then pops right out of the piece of black studded belt that was just placed on the real Boruto's shoulder. Code's claw instantly pierces right through the abdomen of the clone that was on the left side of the original Boruto. It groans and then poofs away. Code takes yet another swing and takes another 2 clones that were flanking on the other side of the original Boruto. One also makes a grunting noise before poofing away. Boruto says, "Damn it." Frustrated, the real Boruto uses both of his arms to grab onto Code's claw arm. The third remaining Boruto clone manages to get in front of the original Boruto. It then grabs Code's arm as well. So it seems like Boruto's clone yanked to his body, and then Code says, "What?" Sorry guys, my audio got cut off for a second. So to re-say everything, once the clone completely extracts Code out of the black studded belt, it swings Code onto the ground. The real Boruto finally lands a clean punch onto Code's face. The other Boruto clone poofs away. Code says, "Cheh." Code drags his claws along the ground while he's being sent flying back by the impact of the blow, and then mark 3 stripes of black studded belts in the dirt. The real Boruto tries to pursue Code for another hit, but Code has already disappeared into one of the claw marks. A crouching Code reemerges a bit further away at the intersection of two more pre-prepared claw mark ribbons. So it seems like these claw marks are really what's carrying Code through this fight. Definitely a very handy technique. Boruto says, damn it, that ability is such a nuisance. Kawaki thinks to himself, he's so strong, but those aren't Boruto's movements, and yet somehow he's freaking maintained his own consciousness. Since when did he become so? Code says, what's going on here? Ada's left eye is still activated. Damon is still fast asleep in her arms. She replies into Code's ear, which has emerged through the segment of black studded belt that's on her sleeve. Ada says, I wonder if that's an effect of those drugs that Amado had prepared for him. I don't know for sure about what's happening to Boruto's body, though, but at least he hasn't let his mind get hijacked during his previous instances. It seems like he's in control over Momoshiki's powers, while he's still maintaining his own consciousness. Code says, drugs, eh? Ada says, wouldn't you be better off if you didn't take him lightly? I'm not joking. What if you get killed here before you're able to regain your true powers? So these are all very good points. Ada's making good points, and this is a nice advancement of the talks. So it makes sense that Boruto has Borushiki's powers thanks to the drugs, and he's not being taken over just yet. And let's see. And then another thing that I wanted to talk about was this might be some foreshadowing about Kawaki, because as you see, Kawaki's thinking to himself, like, when did he get so strong? Maybe this is the point that's still driving him over the edge, where Kawaki's thinking, like, I need to gain my power back. Like, how is this guy so much stronger than me now? Like, maybe this kind of inspires him to get that karma back. But yeah, let's jump into part 2. Okay, guys, so on to part 2 now. This is going to be pages 14 through 19, and now we're going to be about 46% through the chapter after this. This is a lot of dialogue. This is going to be back to Konoha, where we have a bunch of the characters we've known for a while talking about what's going on. So the scene's titled Manifesting. The scene cuts back over to the Uzumaki household, with Ino consulting remotely. Naruto has created 2 clones of himself, and they're sitting cross-legged in a triangle formation. The 2 clones have their eyes closed for concentration. Ino says, Boruto-kun's chakra. Naruto says, that's right. That's enough about Kawaki for now. Everyone please hone in on sensing Boruto's chakra. Search around the village, dozens of kilometers out, right now. Nishi says, excuse me, Hokage, I'm sorry. I tried to diligently watch over them. That was uncharacteristic of me. Naruto says, that's okay. Tadabayo. Didn't I just say to hurry up and search for Boruto already? Kawaki is probably there with him. Suddenly, Shikamaru lands on top of the fence in front of Naruto and squats down. Shikamaru says, and our worst enemy is probably there with him too. Kawaki might have found that damn bastard code already, but in the worst case scenario, they might already be dead. Naruto says, Shikamaru, why are you here? Shikamaru says, didn't we already decide on this? Since you've lost Kuroma's powers, there's no way I'd stay silent and let you go off. That'd be a suicide mission. Naruto says, what are you talking about? As if I'd ever forsake the children. Shikamaru says, calm down. That's not what I was implying. I don't think that anyone could ever stop you from going anyway. Naruto stays quiet. Shikamaru says, I'm going with you. It's bad timing, but Sasuke hasn't returned from his manhunt for code yet. Moreover, Sai is guarding Amado right now. Naruto says, Shikamaru. Shikamaru says, I'm aware of the dangers. It'll be troublesome, but let's not argue over every detail. It's not like you could stop me. So let's head out as soon as we can figure out Boruto's whereabouts. I kind of like this. I like that Shikamaru is getting involved in this too. And, you know, it shows you how good of a friend he is to Naruto, and how much he cares for not wanting to send him off alone now that he's been weakened. Because I'm sure if Naruto had, like, his original powers, you know, Shikamaru wouldn't be as worried. Neither would everybody else. And now that Sasuke's not around either, personally, I was expecting Sasuke to just show up in this battle, but I guess maybe he's searching elsewhere. So Naruto might be on his own, so Shikamaru's coming through with him. Hinata then comes running out of the house as Himawari peeks from behind the door. Shikamaru hops down to where Naruto and his clones are. Nishi is still just standing there behind Naruto. Hinata says, Naruto. Naruto says, Hinata. Hinata says, I'm going with you too. I can't stand by without doing something. Naruto says, don't say something silly like that. What'll happen to Himawari if something bad happens to you? Please, I'm asking you to stay. Asking you to stay here. Let's Let's see. Then Hinata's just quiet. Shikamaru says, Hinata, I understand how you're feeling, but you shouldn't put the Hokage Naruto on the spot like that. So for now, I'm sorry, but could you please go along with the request for my sake? Hinata stays quiet. Hinata looks down at the ground. Himawari then tugs on her sleeve. Naruto is still looking back at them, still with a concerned expression on his face. Himawari says, Mama. Hinata says, Hima. Himawari says, will you be alright, Papa? You'll bring back Big Brother and Kawaki? You'll definitely come back together safely, right? Shikamaru, Hinata, and Naruto silently stare back at Himawari. Naruto stays silent. The original Naruto's eyes then suddenly transform. His pupils are now horizontal slits, and there's a dark eyeshadow-like pattern around his eyes. Isn't it obvious? Who do you think your father is? Himawari has a faint smile on her face now. Hinata is still looking down, but then closes her eyes. She clutches her chest with her left hand. Hinata thinking to herself, Naruto-kun, Boruto, Kawaki, everyone, please stay safe. And that ends off part 2. But I just gotta point out, I love it that Naruto's bringing back Sage Mode. I've kind of been waiting for this for a little bit to happen anyway, even if it wasn't during like a training exercise or something like that. But I'm glad to see it back, and I sure hope that they give Naruto at least one dub with this form in this show or in the series, or at least have him put in some good work. But we'll see what they do. On to part 3 now. Alright guys, so we got part 3 and part 4 together over here. So this will lead us to about 80% through of the whole chapter. And this is going to consist of pages 20 to 29 and 30 to 33. And yeah, this seems like a lot, but let's jump into it. So we cut back to Code versus Boruto. Boruto glances down at the claw marks on the ground. He then raises and points the palm of his karma-activated hand to the black-studded belt. Nothing happens, though. Boruto thinks to himself, it doesn't seem like I can absorb it. Is that because these claw marks aren't made out of chakra? Kawaki says, the majority of it is materialized chakra, though, but it's a product that's been formed by mixing it with iron. It's in his blood content. So in other words, if you roughly separated the claw marks, they'd be substances. That's why you can't absorb them with karma. So you should be careful. I mean, what an asshole. What's going on in this situation? Where did that bastard Momoshiki freaking go? And what's the status on him? Boruto says, who knows? Maybe it's an effect of the drugs, but at any rate, this is the first time that I'm experiencing this too. Kawaki says, look, there's no reason to freaking depend on something that you don't understand. You could suddenly go on a rampage again, alright? Boruto says, I'll think about that later, but for now, as long as we defeat that guy who's standing right in front of us, we should settle everything once and for all. Ko says, so it seems to be an effect of the drugs that you got from Amado. However, Momoshiki hasn't disappeared. From now on and forevermore, you'll be an Otsutsuki. Boruto thinks to himself, this guy, how does he know about the drugs? So see, this is a big point, because now, thanks to this, they're going to start figuring out, hopefully, something that they're constantly being spied on somehow. Hopefully, they figure that out. Code says, not that it matters to me anyway, whether you're Boruto or Momoshiki, as long as you'll be fed to the 10 tails so that I can properly cultivate the divine tree. But it doesn't seem like I'll have to worry about that either. There shouldn't be any issues regarding your quality, since you'll become the most premium quality sacrifice. Boruto says, sorry, but there's no way that I'd let you do that. I shouldn't have to keep telling you this over and over again. Code says, it'll only be a matter of time before you'll be finished with your complete perfect Otsutsuki transformation. And that's when you'll reach peak quality as the most premium sacrifice. I'll come back to pick you up at some other time. So it seems like Code plans on letting Boruto go. Code then disappears into one of the segments of the studded black belts. He immediately reemerges behind both Boruto and Kawaki. Code now has Kawaki in a one-arm chokehold / headlock from behind. Boruto has been caught by surprise. Kawaki is using both hands to try and pull Code off of him. Kawaki seems like he's being gagged by Code's sleeve. Kawaki says, Erg. Now we're on page 24. Kawaki looks like he's about to gnaw off Code's arm. Code says, so this is a goodbye for now. We'll meet up again soon, though. I had fun, though, Uzumaki Boruto. See you later. Boruto said, you asshole. Wait up, damn it. Code said, let's get going, Kawaki. She's waiting for you. Kawaki then weaves a hand sign while sweating profusely. He produces one shadow clone that pops up right behind Code. The Kawaki clone attempts to throw a punch at Code, but Code uses his right claw to catch Kawaki's fist right into his palm. Code just holds on to Kawaki like that. Boruto says, "Yo, Kawaki." Boruto suddenly comes dashing straight in front of Code with a Rasengan formed in his right palm. Boruto says, "So it seems like you finally got in the mood to do something." Code says, "Cheh." Boruto advances closer to Code with Rasengan. However, Code just slips back into a studded black belt again to evade the blow. Code appears a few meters away behind Boruto. Kawaki's clone poofs away, and now that his original body has been freed. Seems like Code will be very annoying to his opponents in the sense that he's just going to keep going back and forth through these marks to evade attacks. "What kind of feint was that, Kawaki? You don't want to come along with me anymore?" Kawaki crouches down on one knee, grasping his throat. He's trying to catch his breath. Kawaki says, "Don't misunderstand me. I'll do whatever I gotta do for the sake of the Hokage." Boruto says, "Of course. That is, if we simply can't defeat this asshole, since that'll be the quickest way to settle things." Ada is remotely staring off into space. Code says, "Shit, you're pissing me off. I hate you both." Code says, "Alrighty then. I'll make this really clear to you guys. It's in your own best interest to just obediently do as I say, okay?" Boruto says, "So that's all you've got to say for yourself? Bring it on. I'll kick your ass and settle this." So then we go on to scene 4, which seems to be titled "A Brief Shikamaru Intermission." Scene switches back over to the Uzumaki residence. Naruto suddenly has an epiphany. Naruto says, "I found him. It's Boruto. He's about 40 kilometers to the northwest and there's someone else with him. I don't recognize the chakra that's with him." Shikamaru says, "Is it Code? Shit, Ino, did you hear that? We know Boruto's whereabouts. We'll head out to his location at once. The enemy is an elusive one who can pop up anywhere at any time. Maintain an emergency alert status throughout the entire village." Ino says, "Roger that. Be careful, Shikamaru." The original Naruto stands up triumphantly. The other two clones are sitting peacefully, still manifesting chakra. Naruto says, "Alright, let's go." Shikamaru says, "Naruto, about that sage mode, it doesn't seem like you can maintain being in that state for too long. How long do you have left given your current condition?" Naruto glances back over his shoulder at Shikamaru. Naruto says, "Don't worry about that. In fact, I can maintain it for even longer now than I could maintain it in the past. It came with experience of me becoming a wiser old man. So let's hurry up." I find that funny, but I love it that it shows exactly how it should be, that he's made progress with his forms. So him being better with Sage Mode makes perfect sense now. And I sure hope we get to see some new abilities or something new from Sage Mode or something cool like that as time goes now, because he doesn't have anything else at the moment as in terms of transformation power-up. And Shikamaru says, "Shit, what do you mean about it coming from with the experience of you becoming a wiser old man? Listen up, don't do anything rash, Naruto." Naruto says, "Yeah, I know." And that ends off this scene. One more quick thing here in general. I just want to say I really love this scene that they're doing here with Naruto and Shikamaru. I sure hope that it actually leads to something like a conversation or a confrontation with Code. I would like to see that. Even if they don't fight, it would be pretty nice to even get a conversation between them. I feel like it would be pretty intense. So, especially with Shikamaru there. So I really, really hope that we do get something there and it's not just that Code has already disappeared by the time they arrive or something like that. But anyway, let's move on to the final scene of the chapter. Okay guys, part 5 here now, aka the final part of the chapter. Seems like it's going to be a lot of action just based off of how little translations there are compared to the other scenes, but so we start with the scene swapping right back to Boruto and Code engaging in taijutsu. Code takes a swipe with his claw at Boruto, but Boruto manages to duck down and evade it. Boruto then headbutts Code straight beneath his chin. Boruto follows it up with a swift kick to Code's abdomen, which sends Code flying backwards. The blow happens to conveniently align Code up with the segment of a black-studded belt that was stuck onto a nearby tree. Code then vanishes straight into the claw mark. He immediately reemerges in another one that was located right behind Boruto. Code seems to have landed a hit on Boruto with this next claw swipe. Code lunges at Boruto from behind again, just as Boruto is weaving a hand sign. Code seems to quiver for a bit and begins to panic. Something is swirling around his chest at point-blank range. Code says, "This is a vanishing Rasengan?" Boruto lands a bit further away from Code. Code drags his left claw along the ground. He manages to draw some claw marks to disappear into it again. Boruto's surprised. Kawaki's thinking to himself, that bastard. He traveled through his claw mark and freaking evaded the Rasengan? Code says, that was a close call just now. So that's your vanishing Rasengan, eh? I've got to be careful about that thing. That's pretty cool, though, that he was even able to evade that. That's kind of crazy. Can't wait to see what the panel looks like for that. Boruto says, damn it, if only it got just a bit closer. Ada says, that was dangerous, wasn't it? You idiot, what are you doing? Damon is still fast asleep through all of this with his mouth wide open. Kawaki's quiet. Boruto says, so cheap tricks won't work. Well then, I'm gonna have to straight up send you flying. But then suddenly Boruto drops down to one knee. Kawaki is shocked. Boruto himself seems to be confused. Code and Ada observe without saying a single word. Boruto is quiet. Boruto makes a fist with his left hand and starts grabbing at his chest. His right arm is now on the ground, steadying himself. He's sweating a bit more. Boruto says, guh. Boruto then collapses onto his right side. His left arm is still grabbing at his shirt and chest. The palm of his right hand is half open, more lifeless than before. Boruto says, guh. Kawaki says, oi, Boruto. Boruto says, Boruto continues to struggle to make coherent words. His eyes are wide open and his mouth is agape, as if struggling to breathe. He keeps clutching his chest and has wrinkled his shirt up even more. The right side of his face isn't visible anymore, and he has rolled over to his side. And I think that's where the chapter ends. Preview for the next one is, in a battle amongst those who would wield karma, the two contenders are evenly matched, but in the midst of their fight, a strange phenomenon is transpiring within Boruto's body all of a sudden. So it seems like we end on a big cliffhanger, but based off this next chapter, we might be getting Boruto versus Kawaki for some reason. Maybe this is a big, like, Naruto versus Sasuke type of fight to end off part 1 of Boruto. But we'll find out when next month's chapter drops. But let me know what you guys thought of these spoilers in the comments below. I'm looking forward to the chapter myself. Be sure to leave a like on the video if you guys enjoyed. Subscribe to my channel if you guys are new. Hope you guys have a good day or night. I'm Rewinds, and I'm out.